Namaskar friends. Have you heard of an island named Ogimi? This island Ogimi figures in the book Ikigai written by Francis Mirrells and Richard Garcia. This island people are living at an average of 100 plus years long life. What makes them live for so long? That is the secret of happiness discussed in the book Ikigai. They have their own food methods, they have their own exercise patterns, they have their own way of living and cooperating, which makes them live for so long. Lots of Japanese techniques have been discussed throughout this book, and this is a very good read. Around 170 plus pages spanning into several chapters, and each chapter pinpointing several features which make people happy and live for long years. Even the interview of some of the centenarians, that is, the persons who have lived for more than 100 years, is given here. This nonchalant life of the people of Ogimi, the island, the miraculous island in Japan, is the fountain point of this book, Ikigai. This book explains the methods of exercise like yoga, the methods of eating. Interestingly, the islanders of Ogimi eat more of rice, contrary to popular belief that rice is very dangerous for health. And they have the flow of living. This flow of living is figured in most of the non fiction personality development books, and this is a very common point. Therefore, the meditation, yoga, the way of exercising, the way of letting go of things and finding a flow in the meaning of life is the secret of happiness of the people of Ogimi as given in the book Ikigai. I am discussing about another book titled Candide by Voltaire. Voltaire was a 17th century philosopher who triggered French Revolution along with Francis Montesquieu and Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. These Montesquieu, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Voltaire were the trio who were the kingpins behind the French Revolution. In Candide, in the book Candide, several harsh truths are being discussed. This is a fiction book. It has entered its place in world literature. It is believed that Voltaire wrote this book in just 3 days. It is a full of satire book. A person named Candide moves from one place to one country to another in search of the meaning of life, along with several philosophical thoughts which are behind him. For example, in the palace where he lived initially, Candide says that he has everything in his palace and he is the local baron, and his palace has even the windows. In another incident, the Candide finds certain different beliefs in different countries, especially in France, Bulgaria, and the South American countries, where he finds that the popular beliefs are shattered and there are certain odd type of beliefs which people follow. And then what he discovers is that accidentally he discovers a country named Salvador. In Salvador, everyone is happy. Children play with gems. Children play with gold. The country of Salvador was in 17th century a land full of gold and precious gems. He found children and people playing with gold and gems. When he wanted to leave the country of Salvador for a sweetheart, he was he was gifted with several sheep loads of gold and these precious gems, which he could not take it out because the sheep died in between. See, the gold and the gems are reluctant to move out of Salvador. That is the amount of happiness, and where the happiness is, the gems will always flock. So, through such kind of examples, and then ultimately he reaches Bosphorus, a country where it was the older Iran, and he reaches there where he finds his sweetheart, and he finds that all these jewels of life has no meaning, and ultimately he decides to go back and find a small plot of land where he would cultivate. So, the ending line of Candide is that let us go and garden our own garden, plant our own garden. We should not poke nose into others' affairs, is what very splendidly, plausibly given in the Candide. So these two books, Ikigai by Francis Morel and Candide by Voltaire, moved my mind and made me a full of philosophical thoughts which ran for the last 1 week, which was quite enjoyable, my dear friends. Thank you.